Today is learning about pedigrees. You have a video here to watch to help you learn that, as well as the PowerPoint. We're going to look at slides 42 to 45. We're going to practice together. Then you have an assignment that you do not have to submit. This is just practice on your own. And then here's the actual assignment, which I'll show you. This is a video going through the homework assignment. So here's how you can see if you did it right or wrong. And then here's the key to the study guide. I'm going to start up here and go through the PowerPoint, 42 to 45, so we can talk about pedigrees. So pedigrees are used so that you can learn about your family history. And what happens is, a lot of times, for example, there are geneticists who see people to discuss with them about any disorders that are present in their family. So this is just a Punnett square that is being filled in with the symbols that are used in a pedigree. So I'm just going to kind of explain the symbols. So a square in a pedigree is going to be a male, a circle is going to be a female. If they're not filled in like these two, it means they're normal. If they're filled in half, they're a carrier. If they're filled in all the way, they're going to have the disorder. Now, we don't only look at pedigrees for disorders, we also look at them for traits. So we'll practice traits. If they're doing it for disorders, then probably looking at seeing a geneticist to see, is it a good idea if I have kids, or is there anything we can do to prevent that, or, just different options. These are two definitions I would know. Genetic engineering, which is talking about taking and modifying the genetic code that's given to the organism. For example, we do this now with food. We do it with corn and vegetables and things where we have them modified to make them able to resist pests so they don't eat them, to make them grow faster, make them grow bigger, to make them grow in drought. So that's why we genetically engineer. You'll also go to the store and see little labels on it saying non-GMO, so that's what that's talking to, is not genetically modified. And typically organic food isn't either modified. So what they do is they probably make it a little more expensive. Selective breeding is where you choose an organism based upon its traits. So for example, your dog or cat being a purebred of any kind, for example, a German Shepherd, that you're breeding for those traits that you think are cute, that you can see. However, we also bring along some of those bad things, which doesn't make selective breeding a great idea. So for example, purebred German Shepherds are typically known for having hip dysplasia. And there's other health issues that could come along with being selectively bred. But that's what it is, to select an organism and breed for those specific traits. So a pedigree is a family tree. It's going to help us understand our family. So in this case, I already told you what the half is, which is a carrier. The circle is a girl. The square is a boy. This line here means they're married. If you go down this stem, you're going to go to the left and to the middle, and you're going to see these little pieces that come down. Those are their children. So they have a son who's affected by the disorder, a son that's normal, and a daughter that's a carrier. Now, if you look here, this is who this son married, and then they had 2 children. And then this is what the son married this woman, and then they had 2 children. And the daughter married this man, and they had 3 children. I don't know what the trait is, but it's showing that this guy has the trait or disorder, and these others are carriers. What I can tell you is that it's not sex-linked, because if it were, all the boys would have it, and they don't, so it's not a sex-linked trait. We're going to go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint. We're going to click on this link here. This link is going to take us to a practice page, which I did go through in class. I'll go through it again here in just a second. Let's go back for a second. We're going to click on this here, which is another practice. You can go down and answer these and get your score. It's 10 questions. That's not required to turn in, just to practice. And then the assignment, which is on here as well. So let me show you the assignment. On here, we're going to open this. You should already have a copy in your drive. You're going to answer these 3 pedigrees. And again, like I said, I did give you a video at the bottom on current lessons. Oh my goodness, can't get back there. Here we go. So here's the video to all the answers to this assignment. I did not make a video yet of the one that we did together, so I want to go back to the one we did together so that we can do that together, and then you can use that for your purposes to check your answers if you weren't with us. So I'm going to open it in Cami so I can write on it. I'm going to make it a little bigger so we can see it. We're going to look at the first one. It's telling us they have a trait. The individual is, here we are. The pedigree shows the inheritance of attached earlobes. Did I click on something here? We're looking at attached earlobes. For 4 generations. 1, 2, 3, 4 generations. What it wants to know is the trait of attached earlobes versus free earlobes dominant or recessive? Up here, it's going to tell us what this means. So we know what's dominant, we know what's recessive. Let's go ahead and go down here to where we can write in our answer. Okay, so we know it's recessive. We know it's recessive because there are very few of them that have it. If it was dominant, a lot of these in the family tree would have it. So only 2 have it. Making it recessive. Making few have it. Okay, the second one is going to ask the same thing. Dominant or recessive. Do you see how most of them have it? That's going to tell us it's dominant. Most have it. And then on the last one, it's saying, is it dominant or recessive? Again, very few have it, recessive. Another reason you know it's recessive is because the girl has it, and that's recessive. Remember, this is going to be colorblind and sex-linked, so it's going to be on the X. It's also telling us here, we want to know, is the mother of the colorblind girl, which is this one right here. So this person here, is she colorblind, carrier, or normal? Well, we know she's not colorblind because she's not colored in. We know that she's not a carrier. Wait, do we know that? Because some of the pedigrees may not show you their carriers, that they're half filled in. Some trick you and make you think about it instead of giving you that half filled in circle. So we need to look at that again. Or does she have normal color vision? Let's take a look. In order for a boy to have color blindness, they have to have 1X affected. We're going to use color blindness as a lowercase c, normal as capital C, but there is no color blindness on the Y allele. So we're going to take that away. What we do know is that a girl is XX, and his mom was either normal or carrier. Well, let's look at it. If mom were to have a baby, she would donate an X to that baby. If dad were to have a baby and it would be a boy, he donates a Y to that baby. So in this case, this makes a boy. So who gave this boy color blindness. That would be his mom. So the only way for mom to give it to him is if she carried the allele for color blindness. So she has a capital C and a lowercase c on her alleles. So she is a carrier. We know that because the only way for the son to be colorblind is because of the X he inherited from mom. And that is the practice. The other one, like I said, is just a drop-down menu. You select, get your score, and you can play it as many times as you want. This one here is just practicing as well. You don't have anything to turn in. The only item you have to turn in is going to be this right here, the Pedigree practice, which is labeled T4W2. Let me know if you have any questions.